On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick have a few Disney Plus series updates for the Star Wars, which include a Kenobi post-credit scene rumor, its delay, as well as some cryptic thoughts from Donald Glover on the Lando series. They also will discuss some quotes from Hayden Christensen on what it felt like to don the armor again, and where he thinks Vader is at in Kenobi. Of course, the show will end on this week's version of the fan segment, including the latest Question of the Week responses, and the next round of Top 5 Star Wars Artist Features. Punch it, Chewie! Hey, now everybody, it's the Star Wars Time Show, and yes, Matt is coming to you from a submarine, if you couldn't tell by the sound of his voice here. So I'm going to try, my friends. You know, I'm never going to skip a Star Wars Time Show unless I'm half dead or in the hospital. Definitely not feeling my greatest right now, so who knows. I have a test planned for after the show. And we'll see what happens, but definitely, I think the Haywoods that left last week to go to Florida on that little trip I think I talked about, I believe they brought some Florida home with them, and now it's my turn to deal with it. So we also had my kid's first birthday party at 6 years old. This was her first ever birthday party with other little people. I don't want it to seem like we no. You can't have parties. It's family parties, and then she had her fourth and fifth during the pandemic. So this is the one where, like, you know what, fuck it. We'll just go take you out. Went and did some rock wall climbing. So who knows where this came from. But I do
might
think
just have some kid funk.
Yeah, but it sucks. I tell you what, man, and I think some of our older listeners will agree, but it just, everything in life, the older you get, the harder it is to deal with. I never remembered being congested and it kicking my ass as much as it has in 2022, because I think this is my third bout of crud since masks have kind of gone away and people are a little more out and about. So it's like yay for I want my fucking mask back. I want everyone else back in masks. That was a good 2 years of living and not feeling like this. Okay, I got that.
Lucky. I haven't gotten sick yet. So
how often do you associate with groups of humans? Every weekend, I'm guessing, since it's just you and Taylor.
I mean, we don't gather with a bunch of friends or anything like that, but we go out to breweries, we go to movies. I mean, we just do but also we've been doing that since they allowed you to sit outside and go to places in Austin,
right? Which
has been over a year at this point. So I mean, I guess I'm
more like the indoor activities, unmasked with groups of people. And Tones is right in the chat. And by the way, if you want to join the live stream every Tuesday, 2:30 on YouTube, youtube.com/Star Wars Time Show. It is. I mean, having a kid and God knows what the fuck they're doing. I mean, I just watch her sometimes in the house, picking noses, eating boogers, picking stuff off the floor, picking her ass, sticking her hand back in her mouth. I mean, that's just what they do.
Yeah.
And it's, at 2 years off, my immune system's like, oh, fuck, we forgot about all this shit. So any little thing's getting through and kind of kicking my butt. But, oh, well, still working this week, still working out. I don't know if that's a good idea. Still doing the show. Don't know if that's a good idea, but we'll see how I feel at the end of this. I'm fucked, Nick, when I'm sitting down here wearing a hoodie. I never wear a hoodie doing the podcast because I usually sweat like a motherfucker when I get all worked up and just talking about Star Wars in general. I don't know. It gets my armpits juicy for some reason.
Getting you all hot and bothered.
Yeah. But today I get like this. They're not like flu chills, but my body is colder than usual. So
yeah.
And I'm trying to get a few more uses out of my Boba Fett hoodie before the weather completely turns up here in the Midwest or the North Midwest.
I mean, in fucking Texas, it's April 5th for those of you who are listening via podcast or maybe at a later date. April 5th in Texas, it's going to get to 98 degrees today. there is no spring in Texas, which
No,
sucks because
I remember
that's my
that.
favorite season.
Yeah, no, it just goes from being sort of cold, like maybe 40s, 50s, maybe a couple days in the 30s, right back to the 80s, and then hundreds will start hitting. I bet it gets even hotter down in Austin than DFW, where I was at for about a year and a half. But yeah, that dry heat comes in, and got to have the. Do you guys do the like the old people sunscreen thing for your cars down in Texas, like everyone does? Where you kind of put it up in your you put it up in your windshield when you get out of your car, so it doesn't turn it into an oven.
No. I mean, we really should. We really should. The good thing is like I keep my car parked in the garage, and then Taylor will park her car in the garage occasionally. So we're lucky that we have that convenience. But like when we go out, we don't have one of the masks.
It was a weird thing being in Texas, being a Yankee. The first thing I got when I went to work at an ice cream dairy plant in Fort Worth, Texas. As soon as I walked through the maintenance shop, you're a Yankee, aren't you? You know what we do to Yankees down here? We hang them by the flagpole. I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Wow, yeah, this sounds like great.
Luckily,
time.
they adopted me. I mean, I think those that have listened to the show for a certain number of years probably understand that I can handle myself in situations. And while I may be a Yankee and one of these academics, these smart people telling us how to live our lives.
We got a college boy here.
He's a college educated northerner, them goddamn Yanks. You know, in our state constitution, we can secede at any time. I'm like, go ahead. We've got the United States military if you want to do that, but have at it, Texas. I still love it down there. I know the politics in Texas are fucking ridiculous, just like Ohio and Florida. But Texas was one of my favorite places I've lived throughout the 50 states.
I'm not gonna lie, it was fun, man. Like it's fun living here. Like coming from Louisiana, which is another like really fucking fun place to live. Like I think that Austin in particular is a really cool place. There's just so much to do.
Yeah. That's like the one liberal bastion in all of Texas probably is Austin and maybe inner Houston, but outside of that, man, that state is as I don't even want to say far right as it gets. Like they don't even dance in the middle at all. It's way out there.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right. Well, hey, we do have some Star Wars to talk about today. I there was like a last minute save for making Star Wars that dropped this morning, so we threw that up there. We'll talk about that. I would classify it as a leak, but it's nothing tragic. I've been avoiding like the real big plot swipes at this point in time, but this is something I think we could dig into, and it makes sense as a plot device for the story in Kenobi. We've got an update from Don Glover himself on the Lando series and if that's even real. If you're on the live stream, you're looking at a graphic going, am I in the right place? Is this the fucking Sony Marvel time show? No, I want to talk a little Morbius. We want to talk a little Moon Knight, and Nick may even dribble in some Uncharted movie. And then I have a warning / homework assignment for those of you on Netflix. I want you to verify a program on there to see if my classification of it being a bootleg and a disaster, yet it is hard to not watch the whole thing. It's one of those deals. So that's what we got for today. A few other things. Hayden talked a little bit about Return to Star Wars. He's much better at the interview game than you in terms of protecting the plot. So there's not much, but he does make some. He made some interesting quotes, at least from him as a human standpoint, and what it meant to kind of get called back and don the armor again, and kind of where he thought Anakin's mind might have been 10 years later. Because like we said last week, my friend, this Darth Vader in Kenobi he's a spry 32 years old. I mean, he's obviously damaged goods, but he still is 32. He's had 10 years of just pure trauma after what went down on Mustafar and Coruscant. So, what is this guy thinking about? And what's his name? Hayden kind of gives us some insights. So, all right, that's kind of what we're looking at. But first and foremost, as we call it sometimes in the critic circle, I jumped on the grenade for everyone that is Morbius. Checked it out last Thursday. I was even one of the people, the $5 million of people that did the early screening. And while I do not think it's a get up and walk out type of movie, or the 16% that it was showing on Rotten Tomato last week, it definitely has a lot of fucking problems. And it's crazy when you have a talent like Leto in there. Love him or hate Jared Leto, the guy is an accomplished actor who's been doing this shit for 20, almost 30 years. I believe he has an Oscar. Yeah. So he's no schlub. He does. But here's the deal with Morbius, Nick, and it's purely a pacing issue, and it just feels like almost the entire plot is fast forward to the next moment with zero exposition on anything. You don't really understand anyone's motivations for doing anything. Here's where I knew it was in trouble. It starts with kind of a present scene. We've seen it in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. You see Dr. Morbius. He's at that jungle cave, standing at the entrance, and all the bats come out. Then that cuts to a flashback 25 years later to when he's a kid. And then once that's done, which, okay, it's still making sense. When that's done, it cuts back to the present, but we're now after the opening scene, which never gets resolved on screen. You just are like, oh, I think them being on this boat means this is after he was at the cave, and now they're doing tests, and I don't what?
So what you're saying is it's kind of like Rise of Skywalker.
No, it's worse than Rise of Skywalker. I mean, to me, if I had to rate it, it would get a failing grade of a 5 or a 6.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I didn't feel compelled like some people, I walked out. It's like, who fucking does that, honestly? Especially these days when you're spending $18, $20 on a ticket. Like, is something that bad that you're just like, you know what? I scheduled this time. I got babysitters. I'm just going to fucking walk out. Sometimes I think that's people just being hyperbolic. But yeah, it's just, you sit there watching the whole thing going like, okay, I mean, this is mediocre at best. But if they would have just told an actual story that had an actual, all right, this is the story. Is it these two guys looking for vampires? Is it Morbius' struggle with being an anti-hero or trying to be good? What are we doing? Is it Matt Smith taking his shirt off half the time and getting crazy? I don't know. So that's my take on Morbius. I would highly recommend waiting for this one. This is nothing you need to go see in theaters. And Sony Marvel, outside of Spider-Man, just continues to spin its wheels. Like, I like Venom. Don't get me wrong. I like Venom. But it's like, what are you people doing here? All right, well, it looks like we have our first dropout for Nick. So here he's coming back now. Let's bring him back into the fold.
Hey.
See, Nick's like, oh yeah, you don't like when people walk out on movies? I'm just gonna fucking walk out on your Morbius review. So he's like, I'm out of here.
I'm out.
All right, so that's Morbius. The next thing I want to talk about, and Nick can join in here because I know he's checked out the first episode too, along with a lot of you in our Discord. And again, if you want to get in the Discord, you can always find a publicly available link on our Instagram account at Star Wars Time Show. Just hit that link tree and get yourself in there. All right, dude. So we both checked out Moon Knight, so good. Sometimes we can't count on Nick to watch new pop culture stuff in a timely fashion, so thank you. I think he just dropped out. No, he's still here.
No, I'm still here.
It's funny when you drop out, my Skype client is about 45 seconds beyond with its noises, so it just now gave me the fail noise that I can't connect to you anymore. So thank you, Skype. Another brilliant Microsoft product. So Nick, Moon Knight, even before it released last Wednesday, I would say was getting its balls licked by the pro circuit, and by that the people that get access early to review an episode or two to kind of let fans know what's coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
All right. So I was like, okay, all right. Oscar's in it. My boy Poe, somehow Palpatine return guy. I like him. I dig him. He's in Dune. He's fucking cool. Like, right? We all agree Poe Dameron's cool.
I love Oscar Isaac as an actor in general. He's just been in too many good things. I mean,
correct.
So for me, this was always going to be like, it's going to be good unless the writers fuck it up.
Right. So I don't know how you felt, but when I first started watching it, again, I was like, Oscar's brilliant. I mean, there's no knock on Oscar. I love that, as he calls it, his London accent. Like when he's in that town, like, I need to get back to London. It's like, all right, dude. But I like that choice, because then it gives the Mark side of his psyche, really does feel like a different character. So I like seeing him as Steven. I think that's where you see Oscar's best acting is as Steven. I love all that stuff. But I'll be honest with you, the first time through with its just fade to blacks, I was a little discombobulated with what the fuck was going on. I'm not gonna lie, I had to watch it a second time to fully get, like, okay, Steven goes to bed that one night after talking to that bronze mannequin thing and kind of working his hat for him. And then Mark wakes up, goes to whatever European country, to that castle, gets the scarab, jumps out of the window, and then Steven wakes up again. And then Steven runs to the town, and then Mark has to come back to beat everyone up to get the scarab back. At first, I wasn't a huge fan of how they were delivering the narrative. But ultimately, after watching it a second time, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of digging this. It is different. It is unique. I don't know fucking shit about Moon Knight, so everything is new to me, and I like how it's being tied to like legit Egyptian history and gods and rituals and stuff like that. So, first screening, my friend, I was a little like, I don't quite see all the praise for this. But second time through, I was like, okay, now that I get how the narrative's being delivered. I've figured out the timeline better. I was like, you know what? I kind of dig this. And as they're saying in the live stream chat here, both Bat and Tones, like it does kind of have that Lost vibe where you're shown some stuff, you're blacked out, you're left dangling on others. We still don't know. Especially someone like me that knows nothing about the character, we still don't really know what Steven is, what Mark is, what Moon Knight is, what the voice in his head is. I guess it's one Egyptian god that's against that Ammit god that what's his name is walking in glass for Ethan Hawke. So I don't know. I dig it. I definitely I'm on board now. But my first screening, I was a little like, hey, I don't know, this is a little too twisty turvy in terms of the delivery.
See, for me, I actually like that right out the gate, because it put me in a situation to where, like, every other like Marvel like TV series, we'll say, to this point has been like pretty straightforward. I mean, the only other one that was a little bit divisive was like, well, not divisive, but like kind of, didn't give you everything all at once was WandaVision. That one had like a little bit of an unraveling plot and stuff.
And they've all been from existing characters that we saw in the MCU, exactly. Right? Yeah.
That we already know. So, like, just like you, I don't really know anything about Moon Knight. I didn't know anything about Moon Knight going into it. I didn't do any research. I still haven't done any research. So, like, I was pretty fresh, but I really enjoyed, like, the chaotic approach to how they delivered the character. Yeah. Because the one thing that I did know is, like, the guy essentially has multiple personalities. Like, he has these different beings, whether they be Egyptian gods or like his own multiple personalities that are like fighting for control of his mind at any one given time. So like, I thought the way that they delivered that was really cool. And like the mystery of like his nighttime routine, like put the sand around the bed, tie yourself to the bedpost, put the tape on the door. Like, he has all of this set up to essentially prevent himself, or to be able to tell, like, okay, this is, I slept walk, or, right. I did
but
something.
Then Mark undoes it all for him before he goes about. Exactly. I love that.
So like when you see that initially, like you watch everything else happen and you're thinking to yourself, like, well, how is the tape not being ripped? How is the sand not being disturbed and all this other stuff? And then it was really cool to see like one mystery kind of solved as the episode progressed. And then like, the final, the reveal, finally getting to see the Moon Knight costume and everything at the end, I thought was super cool.
Right, so then it just cuts to credits. Like, I mean, as soon as he finally succumbs to Mark and the white straps come out, the mummification, and he beats the shit out of that like Anubis dog in the bathroom. And I kind of like that they didn't even show us that yet. I mean, they really are kind of holding off on the Moon Knight character full reveal. I wouldn't say we've gotten the full reveal yet in terms of, what he can do, what he fully looks like. I mean, even the graphic I have up on the live stream, there's like another Moon Knight character behind him. I don't know if you can see that, Nick, but it's like a whole different face mask. And I don't know what the fuck's going on, and I kind of like that because that's not usually the case in both Marvel and Star Wars, and really for the most part DC for me. Anything they put out is usually from established characters or canon that I at least know enough. Moon Knight, I don't know shit, and I kind of dig this, and I still wish Disney Plus binge like Netflix, but
like others.
It is something I'll be looking forward to every week. Is Moon Knight? Yeah,
no, it was super good, and I really enjoyed.
Hey, Tones, real quick on that comment. I believe that was resolved, and it was a glitch in the system. So I don't think this was some Disney. I know a lot of people are on the fuck Disney, they're woke bandwagon for whatever reason. But that's not true anymore.
Yeah, Tones was saying that that Disney Plus edited some of the more gory sections out of Falcon and Winter Soldier and stuff. So what they did was they have now, since they've brought in the Netflix series, they have now put a TV MA and a TV 14 filter on Disney Plus, and you can choose to use either one. So like, for example, if you have Disney Plus and you have kids and they use their own profiles, you probably don't want them having access to The Punisher.
The thing is, dude,
where somebody's fucking eyes get gouged out.
Right. But they've had that since day one. Like Charlie's had her own Disney Plus. She can't even get, I don't even think she can get the Star Wars movies on her account before they put in the new parental stuff. So to me, I was kind of like, fuck you. You're going to make me take extra steps when I log into Disney Plus now to prove that I'm an adult and I want to see adult content. But you got to do what you got to do, because there was definitely some parents groups and religious right groups that when they found out Disney was taking on, as Nick said, Netflix MCU, like, bleh, bleh, do as we say, not as we do, from that side of the fucking spectrum, You're like, well, just fucking parent, okay? Just fucking parent. It's not that hard. If you don't want your kids watching shit, there's ways to block it.
Yeah. Luckily for me, I don't have to worry about that because all of the profiles on my Disney Plus are set to TVMA, so I don't have to.
NC-7. Nick goes for NC-17.
I go NC-17 Disney movies where everybody's naked.
I actually heard there's either like a one episode of a Netflix show that got an NC-17 or a movie coming to Netflix that got it.
The new, I think it's the Ana de Armas movie that's coming to Netflix is rated NC.
Yeah, all right, good. I'm all about that. So I've never understood the movements out there. Where like if you see stuff on TV or boobies or hear shit, fuck, damn, cunt, dick, that you're gonna end up being like a mass murderer. It doesn't make sense to me. In fact,
it does.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say like the only thing it does is it causes necessary but uncomfortable conversations with your parents.
Yeah.
Like, or just forces them to say like, hey, you can't watch this.
You all know how I speak sometimes on this show. It's not much different in real life. And I took this approach. I was like, I'm going to talk the way I talk in front of my kid or not. Like, I'm not going to purposely get in front of her and be like, fuck. But I'm going to talk. And it's worked because my kid now is my filter. Like, swearing to her is so offensive. She's like, Dad, stop. I don't want to hear it. And to me,
she's the one who's correcting you, which is usually the other way around.
That's a win. Like, especially coming from me, where my biggest problems as a young little boy were my mouth. I think that's a win. I mean, the fact that she doesn't even like hearing the swear words anymore, it's almost like she's triggered by them. She's like, stop. That's enough with the fucks and the bitches, you motherfucker. So, all right. So yeah, I'm digging Moon Knight. Sounds like Nick is on it as well.
The only other hit that I had was I saw Uncharted. I know that I'm super late to this party because it came out in February, but this was one that actually, like, for the last 3 weeks, Taylor and I have been trying to go see. So, like, we initially were going to go see it on Thursday of last week. We got caught up with some stuff at home, couldn't make it. We were going to go see it. They're
playing the bongos and smoking dope. That's what they do on a Friday night.
Probably so. Yeah.
Like Matthew McConaughey did down there in Texas.
Exactly.
Hey, man.
Exactly. Then we tried to go see it on Saturday or on Sunday. We went to the movie theater that we were going to go to, and there were like, people were like, they had an employee outside, and we noticed that there weren't like a lot of cars in the parking lot. We're like, oh, you know, they had a fire in the building, small fire. It wasn't anything big, but they had a fire. So they're like, well, we had to shut down for today. Okay, fine. So then we went back yesterday, got to see it in a theater by ourselves, just the way I like to see movies. Best. I thought it was fucking awesome. I will preface it by saying, too, that Uncharted is one of my favorite game series of all time. I think it's just like, from top to bottom, the first time I played an Uncharted game, I was like, this would make a perfect movie. Like, this would make a perfect new Indiana Jones style movie. And after all of the production woes and however long this thing's been in, you know, in the pre-production, in the pipeline to be made, I was really worried, especially when they announced Tom Holland, because I thought that he was a little young to play Nate.
He's bankable, man. When they said, he's proven it now. He's bankable.
Oh, yeah. And then when I saw that Wahlberg was going to play Sully, I'm like, man, that just doesn't fit. Sully's way older.
Right.
I saw the movie, and I saw the way that those two characters perfectly brought Nate and Sully's relationship to the screen. And I was like, they fucking killed it. You know, like, there was some over-the-top shit in there that's just like the video games. With the, you know, the plane moment in the very beginning, and then the pirate ship moment.
The pirate ship moment that rivals like fuckery like you've never seen before. I mean, even crazier than like Pirates of the Caribbean type of stuff.
I know, but it's just like they did it. I mean, they paid homage to the series so well.
It's good. It is good, and it's a franchise now. I mean, it hit enough check boxes that Sony's like, all right, we'll keep doing this, you fuckers.
Yeah. So. Over 350 million worldwide, which again, like, you know, when you compare that to a Marvel movie or you compare that to a Star Wars movie, people look at 350 million now. They're like, it's garbage. They'll never make another one. $300 million for a movie, for one, the first of a franchise, and two, the first of a video game related movie franchise.
Well, hey, dude, we're still, I mean, a lot of us, and I'm kind of in this crowd now too. I mean, COVID's still fairly rampant around the world. You know, there's some countries that still have lockdowns here and there. So it probably did not play on the amount of screens it would have played on in 2019. So yeah, they did good. I'm with you. All right. So the last thing I want to leave you with, and again, this is kind of like a homework assignment for next week, everybody that listens here, especially you live streamers. There is a show on Netflix now. It probably came out 2 or 3 weeks ago, called The Guardians of Justice. So I threw it on one night. I was like, hey, whatever, fuck it. You know, I'm kind of zoned out. We'll throw it on. It is the most bootleg thing I've ever watched on a professional service in my life. I mean, this is something that I would expect to see on like TikTok or I mean, not even YouTube. I mean, there's YouTube channels that have a more coherent and well put together series. I mean, to me, this show should have been on YouTube. I still don't know how it made it to Netflix. So if you've not watched it yet, and you want to see a train wreck that is kind of hard to turn away from, check out The Guardians of Justice on Netflix. Diamond Dallas Page is one of the stars. That's really all I got to say. I mean, it is like B to C movie, but there's something about it where it's so what the fuck. I mean, Nick, it mixes in claymation with traditional cinematography with animation. Just kind of whenever it feels like it. The acting is atrocious. Some of the sets are atrocious. It really is. I mean, I told Nick before we went live, I was like, I feel like this is something we could have done for 20 grand on our YouTube channel. And it made it to fucking Netflix in like the trending sections. I mean, it was like
so
everywhere. I
weird.
couldn't avoid it. I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it. Why not? So yeah, give that one a check out, and maybe next week, any of you on the stream, if you watched it, you can report back with how I don't know, it's crazy. It would be like, to some of you collectors out there, especially if you're into the bootleg scene, it would be like if Sucklord made a Star Wars movie. Except it's kind of a parody on the Justice League, but same deal. Like the names. I mean, Diamond Dallas Page's character is equivalent to Batman, but he's like a fucking Falcon or something. Okay, I mean, there's a Wonder Woman equivalent. There's a fast person equivalent. There's a Superman equivalent. It is so bootleg. Like I said, if you know what I'm talking about, if you're in that bootleg scene, especially Star Wars toys, Nick, you may remember when we talked about the Sucklord and some of the figures he makes, like the Star Bong and Boba Bong. That's what this feels like. All right, so check it out, people. If you want something to just go, what the fuck to. And I know we got Nick on the Halo bandwagon now, so episode 2, a little bit of a sleeper, not much action, but they're definitely moving the plot along. So hopefully I'll have something to report back on 3 next week. But now it's time for Star Wars time. All right. So we got a few topics, not many, just a few. Things have dried up a bit. There's no doubt about it. And the first one we want to start with, it's something everyone knows about, but I do kind of have 2 avenues I want to explore with this topic. And what I'm talking about is the fact that the Obi-Wan Kenobi premiere got delayed by 2 days, but it's also getting a bonus episode. So in case you've been living under an asteroid, or an asteroid, or you've been in it was an exogorth for the past week, Kenobi is no longer debuting on May 2/5. It has been moved to May 2/7, which is the Friday of Celebration Week. So Nick, like I said, not much we can really do with this story outside of kind of taking some stabs at why it got moved and then why it sucks big time for me. All right, so
yes,
let's start with, why do you think it got moved and then padded with another episode?
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer, honestly, because the one thing that I didn't think that they would want to do with this series is do a dual episode premiere, because there's so few episodes to start with. You only have 6, so by putting 2 out on the same week, that only gives you four more weeks of content left. So my thoughts on the reason for the dual premiere in particular, not necessarily the move to Friday, is that they probably, maybe we don't know about it yet, but maybe there's something that's around the corner, like, within a month of the Kenobi premiere that they plan on dropping. And they don't want those 2 to overlap. That's probably why you get the 2.
Yeah. So I agree with the 2 episode. I think, they'll kind of pitch it as, oh, hey, it's Celebration Week, where it's a gift to the fans, where I honestly think most people at Celebration are going to be like, man, that kind of sucks. Now we got to watch both episodes here while we'd rather be out fucking around on the floor or with our friends. I don't know. I've seen other content creators like Star Wars Explained. I saw him after this, and he's like, fuck, I'm going to now have 2 episodes to break down on the first real big day of Celebration.
Which is exactly what your worry was.
So but I think
you're also going to be on a vacation.
Yeah, so right? I'll talk about that avenue in a second. But I honestly think they moved it to Friday. Think they're either going to have some big event at Celebration now, like maybe Ewan's there or the cast is there, and certain fans will get to watch the 2 episode premiere with them all together. Because outside that, I don't know why you do that, because that is, I believe Celebration's Thursday through Sunday like it usually is. I don't know if it's a Friday to Monday one, but I think it's a Thursday to Sunday. So you are taking a prime day and kind of birthing this baby. So I would have to imagine they're going to have some sort of panel or very exclusive special event for the 2 episode premiere screening at Celebration on that Friday. But I'm with you. I think the reason for the 2 banger is to catch up. I don't know if it's for Andor or Bad Batch or maybe one of the Marvel shows, but it does seem like they're wanting to hurry this one along in a month's time versus the full 6 weeks.
Yeah, it definitely has to be for a time constraint. Or, I mean, maybe that's like a stealth panel, and like they're like, hey, we're gonna have, you're gonna get an hour and a half of Kenobi back to back, and then we'll have a Q&A with the cast.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. And that, I mean, come on, that would be fucking fantastic. But really, I think all that is probably just going to frustrate a lot of fans that don't get either this through a lottery or don't get access, or maybe it costs extra. Who knows how they're going to handle it, but it just feels like they did this for some sort of special extravaganza out there in Anaheim. Now the other angle, and the poor baby Matt angle, is I was already bummed out about the Kenobi premiere date, all right, because I'm an asshole. It was initially going to come out on the Wednesday of my first week, my 2-week beach vacation, where I go to this place I've gone to my whole life. Eventually, I would like to move there. I love being in this place. We do it for at least 2 weeks a year, so it's big time. So I was already like, fuck. Kenobi on a Wednesday at the beach, vacation, family's there. And I'm going to feel compelled to get up and do 3 to 4 hours of work on a fucking Wednesday at the beach for Star Wars content that honestly maybe 200 people will watch. This all goes back to my narcissism and OCD when it comes to Star Wars, all right? I can explain it again. I still believe people need to hear my opinions because they're the best. That's the narcissism. And then the OCD is if I don't cover something, either I'm going to die or no one's going to watch the show anymore. That's... I mean, I might be being a little sarcastic, but quite frankly, without getting in a shrink's chair, that's pretty much what's going on in my head with Star Wars. I just can't get the fucking clue. Like I can't get, it's so clear. Like, listen, Matt, no one honestly gives a fuck about your Star Wars opinions. So just save them for your fucking podcasts where a few more people give a fuck about your opinions, but still not that many. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to anyone out there, especially content creators? Like, one of these days, something's going to have to change, where I'm just going to have to finally realize, like, no, there is no just another turn or just another video. It's not going to happen, Matt. You've been doing it between EB and SWTS for fucking 12 years now. It's not going to happen. All right? I got to fucking just realize that one day. And I think life would be good. It would be grand for me. Then I'd be able to enjoy Star Wars like the rest of you and just fucking watch it. Maybe still take notes for the show, but, not sitting there, Easter eggs, key moments, gotta do a video, screenshots, 100 people will watch it, good for you. So, finding that it's now moving to Friday, which means I'm just gonna be thinking about it the whole fucking week, and now it goes from 1 to 2 episodes of Kenobi, like a must-watch Star Wars program. I'm looking at losing an entire fucking day at the beach to make 2 videos, or maybe one big one, that honestly, I think I'd be lucky to get 300 people to watch. That's a problem, right, Nick? Like, that is a form of mental sickness. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it is a bit. There's a bit of obsessiveness in there. Yes. But hey, I'm not one to tell people what they should or shouldn't do, especially for things that they enjoy. If it's the case where it's like you enjoy doing it.
There is a bit where I must, or why do I keep doing it? Maybe it's enjoyment, but I will tell you one motivating factor it is, and maybe this is from my days of a gamer, but it's like, hey, just one more video. You never know. Maybe the right person will finally see it and it'll happen, but it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I've even put up videos, like just normal life videos. There's one of my daughter, very young. I put her in a land speeder Hot Wheel. Probably shouldn't have, because that thing went fast and she had no clue what she was doing. Like going over berms and riding off sewers and just laughing her ass off. Any other human posts that to social media, it's fucking going viral. I was lucky to get 4 family members to look at it. You know what I mean? It's just like, Matt, wake the fuck up. The writing is on the wall. I got to get there someday, my friend. I got to get there. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it before May 27th. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, if
look
it was
at
me,
1-6 shooter. I wish, Trevor. Hey, here's what he said. He said, watch it on vacation a few times, take some notes on the beach, and come back and wow people with observation. Yeah. If I did that, by the time I came back, we'd be 3 episodes in, and everyone would be on to like Andor. That's how I think. No. You know.
And here's the thing too: is not only are you going we're only talking about the Matt side of the implications here, but here's what's going to happen if you take 4 hours plus of a beach day vacation with your family to sit down and watch Star Wars stuff by yourself and then do a video. Your wife is going to be very
she knows. She's fully prepared for it. She knows. I've already told her. And trust me, the next week we're there, she'll be working her real job the whole week. So she has really nothing to say on me because she's going to be disconnected from the family for the second week of the vacation. But yeah, I know. I mean, it's just, hey, and I'm just bitching. And listen, there's people that live in Ukraine are getting blown up and babies getting shot. So I mean, wow, Matt. But it really goes back to what's my problem? Like, why can't I just say no? Life will go on.
Yeah, life will go on. Life will go on. Because hey, I mean, and that's the thing too, is like with the videos we literally just remake the video on the podcast.
I know. Hey, dude, what can I say? It is truly a mental illness. And I get it, Shooter. I get it, Tones. You're right. But it's that same voice. It's just like, it almost feels like until I get it done, my brain can't rest. So even if I did put it off on Friday, I'd still be sitting out there probably in the sand going, fuck. Got to do this video. Got to do the videos. Hey, Daddy, you want to play in the ocean? I got to do these fucking videos. Hey, Daddy, you want to go up to the boardwalk? I got to do these fucking videos. You know, I would have that chip on my shoulder. I got to get them done. I truly feel like if I don't get this stuff done, it is the end of the freaking world. And that's why we circle back to mental illness.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, I mean, like the Friday, the push to Friday, I'm not 100% sure on. It has to be, it's definitely in my mind, it's got to be celebration related.
Yeah, it has to be.
The 2-episode drop is to make up time because they have something else that's probably in the pipeline or coming out near where Kenobi would have ended if it wasn't.
Well, when does Captain Marvel drop? Is she not Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, right? Miss Marvel. Yeah. Is that a Juner? Because I'm guessing that's going to go right after Moon Knight.
Yeah,
you're right, Tones. I'm essentially Steven and Mark right now with this voice. I might as well just
hold my nose shut for the rest of the cast and talk like this. Welcome to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea with Matt and Nick.
But Miss Marvel's June 8th. So
got you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Either way, me.
Yeah, Nick. Nick's like, I'll watch it when Matt's like, "Yo, you ready to do a podcast?" I'll watch it 2 hours before that. So
needs to be fresh in my mind.
Nick's like, "This is no fucking skin off my back, pal. Have fun internalizing all that stress, you loser."
I was gonna say, they could release it on any day that they wanted to. For me, I'm gonna watch it when I watch it. So,
yeah, I mean, there's no way I can avoid not watching them on Friday, and I probably will do it. I mean, there's a part of me thinking I may very well wake up at 3 a.m. now. Yeah.
It's a tough one. But hey, man, if you enjoy doing it, which I do think that you garner a bit of enjoyment out of doing that, then I do.
I do. I mean, when people comment or just even the 2 people that watch these fucking videos, I guess that's enough, but I don't know. Like I said, it's how many times can I do the same thing without classifying myself as psychotic? You know what I mean? It's like it truly is rolling that boulder up the hill every day and then it comes right back down and runs me over. All right. So there you go. Kenobi moving on. If you're out there at Celebration, may the Force be with you. We speak your names. I would definitely try to find a watch party if you can't get into what we're thinking will be some sort of official event. because that would definitely be fun. I remember Celebration 2, and this was years ago. This would have been like 2002 or 3. That we only had 4 movies at that point. Celebration 2 was for Attack of the Clones, believe it or not. And they would just have one big room every night where they would play a movie in from the original trilogy or TPM. And it would be packed with people in there with their fucking lightsabers and costumes if they wore them, because back then it was still kind of not a thing. And it is fun watching Star Wars, even though we've all seen them a million times. It is fun watching with a bunch of other lunatics. There's no doubt about it. So Trevor, you're saying I don't enjoy doing the Star Wars time show at this point? Do I need to be more positive? Is that what's happening? All right.
People follow.
So we have a.
People follow.
Right. We do something. We do a few things right. Not many, and not well. We do them okay. I think okay is probably better.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, yeah. Before we move on, I want to acknowledge one of our main supporters here. You can always count on this fan being in the streams, being on Discord, and just being a good dude. I got a care package on Friday from Mr. Bat 2797 from his 3D printing shop, 2797 Studios. And in it, there were some gifts for myself and my daughter. And I don't know, I thought that was pretty damn special. Good dude, Bat is. He made some custom carbonite, like characters in carbonite for my kids' Razor Crest. Like shrunk them down real small, because she has like the tiny Mission Fleet Razor Crest. It's not like a normal scale. So he made her like 6 or 7 carbonites. Jar Jar, Grogu, Luke, lots of cool figures in carbonite. And just to see how excited she was. I mean, I sent Bat the video, but she picked them up and was jamming them all inside the Razor Crest. Like, yeah. And as a bonus, he sent me a couple for my big boy Razor Crest. So shout out to Bat2797 on Instagram, 2797, I believe _studios. If I fuck that up, Bat, let me know and I'll correct it. But they do a lot of fun stuff, a lot of good stuff with 3D printing, teaming up with Landspeeder Luke and other designers out there to print all of your Star Wars diorama needs. So give them a look, give them a shout.
Nice.
Okay, so let's stick with the Kenobi train, buddy. And we have a rumor for you. I would say it's more than a rumor. So just I'll put it out there if you're trying to go in clean, which I doubt many people are that listen to the show at this point in time. You might want to pause for a few minutes. This shouldn't take too long. But this just came out today for Making Star Wars. So again, I have a feeling it's probably legit. So just be prepared. But what we're talking about is the potential of a post-credit scene popping up in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Okay, so it's 2797 Studios, no underscore. There you go. We'll try to. Hey, Bat, if I forget, or Nick, when we're doing the top 5 at the end of the show, try to remind me. I'll pull up your profile. All right, so anyways, like I said, this rumor revolves around the potential of a post-credit scene in Obi-Wan Kenobi and what is going to be in that post-credit scene and when it is going to air. Is everyone ready? Strapped in? Ready to go? Because this post-credit scene is definitely going to tickle your tits, as George Takei likes to say. All right. So, Nick, according to Making Star Wars, there will indeed be at least one post-credit scene in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and it's going to be featured early on. This is not like a stinger to potentially set up future stories or maybe connect into Rogue One or A New Hope. All right, this is going to happen, according to MSW, during the credits of the 2nd episode. All right. And it's the scene itself sounds like it's going to serve as the debut of a very important character to the series. So if we go back a little bit, my friend, and kind of set up what we know so far about what we think is going to take place in episode 1 and 2. Eventually, Kenobi is going off-world to help Bail Organa get Princess Leia back. This is definitely going to expose him to the galaxy at wide, and he is definitely going to risk being found out by doing so. So what sounds like happens here, after he leaves and does this and rescues Leia and potentially reconnects into the Force, unlike he has since the end of ROTS, someone, and I think everyone can guess who, is going to feel that disturbance in the Force.
Oh.
And feeling that presence in the Force for the first time in what could be 10 years is going to awaken this person from slumber. And this person, if you're on the live stream, is none other than Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. So, Nick, this is what it sounds like, how it's going to go. Like, all right, episode 2 ends on a high note. Credits. Ba, 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 ba. We don't know the theme song yet, so we'll just bring in the old ones. And then, all right, we get some credits. We see Deb's name. You know, we're seeing all the names out there. Ewan, Hayden. Yay, we love you people. Thanks for your work. Then we're going to a post-credits scene. It's going to pan up. You're going to see murky water. And then this real fucked up face comes into view and a fucked up eye opens. It's revealed that eye belongs to Anakin Skywalker, and he is in his bacta tank, being awoken from his healing slumber because of Kenobi essentially using the Force again. So a presence
he hasn't felt since
yes, and then you just look around, right? You look left and you look right, and then you just walk away with purpose. So yeah, I kind of dig that's how they're going to introduce Vader. I like it. I like that it is going to be kind of a stinger at the end of 2, and then it does sound like it'll lead right into the beginning of episode 3, which I have a little bit on here, and this is kind of cool. But this is Vader's situation in life after his choice. So it sounds like after seeing that stinger, Vader's in the tank, clearly won't have all his body parts on. And really, Nick, this pays off on that leak from Star Wars Newsnet months ago, where they kind of rendered you're going to see Anakin in a tank, and it now seems like, all right, this is why. He was in there doing his usual healing thing, but because of Kenobi's adventures and him probably using the Force again for the first time in a long time, Anakin's going to sense that, and it's going to wake him up immediately. And now he is going to get involved because now he knows which chess piece is back on the board. So when we hit episode 3, and there's a little speculation here from Making Star Wars, so this isn't verbatim from his sources, but it sounds like we're going to start with a shot of Anakin on a table, still limbless, in pain, getting fitted with his attachments for the day. And it was explained to Jason, like, no, this is Vader's daily existence. This is what he does every day. Like, we get up and, scratch our ass, fart, take a shit. He gets out of his tank and essentially suffers his surgery from ROTS every single day. Just sitting there. He's not going to look all freshly charred. He's probably going to have the white washed over burnt skin at this point in time. But think about that. Every day, he's got to take himself apart, become just a torso in a bacta tank, sleep in there, and then as soon as you come out, you get put back on an operating table, and those fucking droids come in and weld your arms and legs back on. Oh, I love it. I mean, it shows you just the non-stop anguish, suffering, and pain that this character has been in at this point for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking brutal. Like, that is, if you want to talk about the Marvel Netflix shows and how brutal those are, I mean, just that, it may not be as graphic, but in terms of like the amount of suffering that the person's going through, that's pretty fucking high. I mean, that is unbearable. Well, yeah, because, I mean, again, I imagine it will kind of be a parallel to his reconstruction in ROTS, where the whole time, I mean, what's he doing? He's writhing and screaming out in pain. I mean, Palpatine didn't even fucking give the guy like some morphine. He's just like, hey, this is good for me. It's just going to get him more pissed. They just like, all right, here you go. Oh, it's like, imagine taking a welding kit to yourself every day and re-welding your arms and legs back on. Oof, I fucking love it. Awful. I love it. I mean, that's really cool. But then also, if you think about it this way, the reason that they may be doing a 2-episode premiere for Kenobi is that, like, if we're really not going to see Vader until the stinger in episode 2, you could look at the first episodes as almost like a 90 to 100 minute long like prequel movie that leads into the other 4 episodes, where essentially like after that first 2 episodes, the whole narrative shifts.
No, you're right. And
so it's not even the same series.
Yeah, and we've speculated on this just based on some of the leaks, and we're fucking Star Wars geniuses, but it is really sounding now like the first 2 episodes are going to be, all right, here's sad Kenobi, here's angry Owen, here's worried Bail. All right, now we're on the adventure to save Leia. That goes down. Some hijinks happens. Maybe he confronts Reva and kills her. Who knows? Maybe that's where the Force comes out that he's got to use. But then ultimately is successful, and him and Leia get off planet. But as fans watching this, like, all right, good job, Kenobi, woo! Ending on a positive note, you're going to get that fucking reminder that, oh yeah, by the way, this guy's still in the galaxy. And he's not a big fan of Obi-Wan Kenobi, a.k.a. Ben, at this point in time. It's also, I mean, it could very well be, we heard about this with the Book of Boba Fett, where a lot of people are like, you know what? If they would have strung the premiere with episode 2, we probably would have had a more favorable initial reception of the show. Where when they just watched episode 1 and it ended, it was like, oh, well, it was cool. We got to see him come out of the pit, but all right, where's everything fucking going? Where if a show does get into its second episode, and this isn't just a Star Wars problem, I mean, you could argue Moon Knight leaves a lot to be desired. Like, all right, well, where the fuck's everything going? What's next? I want to know what happens next. And maybe that's another reason they are doing the twofer, because they know, like, listen, we're gonna fucking blow their socks off. We're gonna leave them. We're gonna get them 2 episodes and leave them with the prospect that Vader now knows Kenobi is out and about. And as Nick said, that is going to fundamentally shift the narrative for 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's going to go from dicking around with the Inquisitors to the big guy comes in and starts, kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, exactly. So it definitely gives it a little bit more color, knowing that that Stinger is going to be more than likely at the end of episode 2. So, good stuff.
I really do. I mean, everything that's come out about Kenobi is hitting the right notes. If all this stuff pays off, my goodness. Did anyone watch the? And I'm 98% sure it's legit. That leaked footage of Kenobi and Vader fighting on, which is probably going to be Mustafar's moon. Anyone? I know, Nick, you this wouldn't cross your desk, but I didn't post it either because it's something we've already talked about, but it's probably out there on Reddit still or Making Star Wars. I'm sure they have it up there, but someone grabbed the B-roll of one of their encounters, and I believe it's the second one, because the whole B-roll got to be stunt guys because they're on wires, and you can hear the stunt guy getting ready to get yanked, which I've heard is one of the most body shredding maneuvers and all of stunts, to be on a cable and then get fucking ripped back by your boys.
Pulled back.
Yeah, so I think that leaked scene is showing what we talked about, where Vader throws Kenobi like 40 to 60 feet across a room or a canyon. But that had to be real. There's no way that leak was fake. Just absolutely no way. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it yet, but I mean, that's one of those things too. I mean, like we've said too, we don't want to get, like, we'll give you some leaks, we'll give you some stuff like that, but when it comes to that kind of material, it is really hard to like post that.
Wait, there's nothing to, like, nothing to, I mean, we've already discussed the moment through various other leaks. So I was like, what's the point of seeing the footage? It does look cool. I would argue, I mean, again, who knows what sort of light was going on, but Kenobi, and one of these days we're going to be able to talk about our gear from Adrian, because I think that gives some things away too, but it's still under embargo. Yeah. But that leak scene to me, Kenobi is almost, it almost looks like Jedi Master Luke's get up. Like, it's more of that tan robe look. Definitely not as like his, he was kind of that lighter brown type of look. So I don't know, maybe he whips a unique robe, but it doesn't look like his KKK robe from A New Hope, right? Anyone that's seen A New Hope and you see Obi-Wan Kenobi in the distance coming in. I mean, the dude looks like he dyed his Ku Klux Klan outfit brown. His hood stands it stands straight up.
Very pointy.
It's like he's making that sound like. Let's go. I mean, even though I just bitched about it, I can't wait for the 27th. I just like, again, it's that internal sickness I have. It's a constant struggle between drive yourself nuts, but it's Star Wars. So why not drive yourself nuts for Star Wars? There's always time for Star Wars time.
Drive yourself nuts for something that you enjoy.
Okay. Sorry, I need a better cough button here. Not that I've used it yet, but I'm sure this sounds grating to people. So hopefully by next week I'm good to go. All right, so there you go. That's kind of our Kenobi talk for the week. We'll see what comes out. I know Greggy Poo was asking when I think some of the next round of promotions will take place. And because I was so fucking wrong on the trailer, I mean, I thought the trailer would be dropping last week or this week based on how they did it for the Book of Boba. So I guess if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised if they start ramping up some at least TV spots within the next week or two here. Hopefully not giving us too much. I really appreciated the way they did the Book of Boba Fett. It was one trailer and then a bunch of 30-second spots that might include a new scene, 2 scenes at best. I don't want.
They didn't give away very much.
Yeah, I don't really think I want a whole other trailer to analyze and break down. At this point, I'm ready to just kind of see what they have planned for us on the 27th. So, Nick, a few years ago, KK got up on stage, hanging out with Patty Jenkins. It was a big Star Wars party. You know, you get a show, you get a show, you get a movie. It's one of those deals. And one of the properties that was discussed, how they've made a fucking logo for it, was Lando. And that's pretty much it. I mean, how we've heard more about Rangers of the New Republic than Lando.
Yeah. Lando is one of those shows where, like, we got the screen, we got like the Lando Star Wars, but we literally didn't get anything about it. Like, we don't know who was supposed to be in it. We don't know what
a lot
the
of people
was supposed to be. We got nothing.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Lando show, it has to be Donald Glover. Like, who said?
Does not.
I think when we first learned about it, you had the idea of like, why not do it Lando Chronicles, but it starts with Billy D kind of reminiscing about the Chronicles or firing up a Chronicle disc and looking at himself and his hologram, kind of like we saw him do him in the Solo movie. And then once we get into the Chronicle, it reverts to the past and we get to see Glover kind of live through the moment.
Exactly. And that's kind of how, I mean, ultimately that's how Book of Boba Fett played out. And I think that they used that formula really well. And for a character like Lando, who at the end of Tross, there was a setup for a show. He's sitting there with Jannah,
right? And
he literally tells her like, "Oh, well, he says, I can't remember the line exactly, but like he essentially tells her like, oh, there's so many things that I could teach you." Or it's also so many things that I could tell you.
It was kind of implied, and I believe leaked at one point in time that Jaina, and maybe they'll correct this in that novel that's coming out, where it's Lando, Jedi Master Luke, and Ochi, where we're going to learn about what they were doing on that planet, and how Ochi's ship got marooned there, and how Ochi died there. But I believe a part of that story is that's where Lando's kid was kidnapped. And it was always, at least from what I know and read during those massive fucking leaks for Dross, was that Jaina was the kid that was taken, was Lando's daughter. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what my thought was as well. Or like, that's what my assumption was as well, is like, okay, well, this is like Jaina is his daughter. And, I know that like a lot of people were angling like, oh, well, Finn's his son, maybe the kid that was taken with Finn's his son, but I don't think that's the angle that they're going with Finn at this point.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be her.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and look, I don't want to pitch every show that's about a character that's pre-existing has to be this mix of flashback in current time. But for Lando, it would almost be the inverse of what we saw in book, where like in book you had a lot more. Ultimately, like when you play the series out, you ultimately had a lot more in the present time than you did in the past. Where with the Lando series, you would ultimately have a lot more in the past than you would in the present, because the present would just be like, in my mind, you would open every episode with like Jana and Billy talking or like recounting something. Right. And then you would kind of flash into Donald with whoever. You gotta
remember, and they kind of set it up in The Rise of Skywalker. People like Lando and Leia, they were legends to the kids of the sequel trilogy, the Reys and the Finns. I mean, go back to TFA when Finn and Rey actually meet Han Solo. They know exactly who he is. They know about all his exploits. They know about his friendship with the Jedi Master Luke. They were fucking legends, just like Luke was bitching about. Like, everyone thinks I'm just going to come out there with my laser sword. I'm angry, Luke. Brr. So yeah, I like that, Nick. I think that'd be a great setup, because it is. I mean, you even see it in TROS when Poe is like, how did you guys do it? How did you do it as the rebellion when you had nothing and you had the Empire and the Emperor and multiple Death Stars? Yeah. So they
had each other.
Yeah, they revere the OT era characters. So, Nick's scenario, I could definitely see that. Lando, Billy D. Lando, just kind of recounting the past tales of his exploits, both maybe for the rebellion and when he was just hardcore gambling and, as Bat said, eventually winning Cloud City.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much of Lando's life that we haven't seen, and it's all the coolest parts, because we got to see a little bit of it in Solo, and like some people in the chat were saying, like, Donald did such a good job of capturing young Lando, but we barely got to see him. I mean, like, he wasn't there for the end of the movie. He had already taken off. You only got a little bit of, you got good stuff with him and Leet. You got good stuff with him and Han, but like, there's so much that happens after he leaves Han in the lurch with Beckett and everybody else, when everything goes down at the end of Solo. I mean, it's just I would be super disappointed if this show didn't come to fruition, and I would also be super disappointed if it did come to fruition and Glover's not in it.
Yeah, if Glover's in it, you know what? I want to see him fuck a robot. All right, let's just get this done. Lando said
he'll be in the robo brothel.
He's pansexual, I mean, they implied that him and Leet had some sort of love affair going on. Like, I want to see young Lando cornholing a robot. Okay, that's just where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get that exact scene.
Well, they got the new Disney parental Plus controls, Nick. So.
I'm gonna say that's only on the TV NC-17 rating. The TV 14. Does not have
your
that
pistons
scene.
are so sexy. I love your hot grease. Yeah, I'm not right. Okay. So, anyways, why the hell are we talking about this, Nick? Well, Donald Glover has come out of his shell, and I like how he explained this. I don't know if you watched the interview at all or if you saw it on Kimmel.
I saw the quote.
But he essentially says, like, listen, I create for a period of time, and then I chill. And if you think about it, like think back to the Solo timeline. He dropped a new album. He had Solo coming out. I think that was the last current season of Atlanta. And then he just disappears for 3 years or so. Doesn't go away, doesn't become a loser. He essentially said, like, I just fucking, when I'm done working, I fucking chill. When I'm working, I work. He's back. Atlanta's finally back. So, all right, he's on the circuit again. This is kind of where the impetus for this topic comes from. So on Kimmel, Jimmy is, I'm pretty sure Jimmy is a geek, like a lot of us. I mean, he usually does a pretty good job when the Marvel people are on there and the Star Wars people of digging at him and trying to get some sort of comment when he knows they can't. So Kimmel kind of tees it up. He's like, hey man, yeah, you're back doing a lot of things, and here you're doing this Lando series, and here's what Donald said. Am I? Mm-hmm. Just telling all my business. No. Yeah. I have a lot of things. I like to blossom, then go away. Right now is definitely the start of another one of those. I have like a ton of stuff I've been working on, but I just want it all to come out at the same time, so I feel like that's what's important. So he's like, yo, I fucking chill, and then I work. I chill, and then I work. But he's in a work mode now, Nick, so based on his reply, what can you kind of decipher from there? Is he playing coy, or is there no attachment to Lando with him?
I think there is an attachment. Just from the just telling all my business line like that, that might be just a cheeky kind of thing. But like you were mentioning, the last time that he was in his work phase, he had a TV show going, a brand new album, and a feature film. And like that was all in a pretty condensed period of time.
Within maybe eight months on a calendar.
Yeah. So like this guy, like when he goes to work, it's not like, oh yeah, well, I'm working on Atlanta and that's it. Like he goes to work and he's doing all kinds of stuff. So it would not surprise me at all if he's got more seasons of Atlanta going while he's also doing Lando, while he's also making another album. And then in 2 years from now, all that shit just drops at one time. Like, Nick, do you feel like this celebration is going to kind of be like a bukkake of news that's just they've been sitting on because it's been canceled the past 2 years? Do you think that's part of the reason why we haven't learned a lot about these series? I think so. I think there was a lot of, I know that there was a lot of uncertainty over the last 2 years. It's been a clusterfuck for everybody, from the people like us who are just, drones sitting at home working, and the people who are up in the high towers. I mean, like it's hard for anybody to have a clear view of what was going to happen during COVID. So now that things have kind of calmed down, worlds are starting to open back up again. They're going to come out and they're going to be like, hey, big dick a swinging. Yeah, like this is what's happening now. Like you guys thought that all of these other projects were on hold. In reality, we just had to get our shit sorted out, and now it's sorted, and here it is.
Yeah, I have a feeling, and this is going to give me stress too. So hopefully, I can rely on Nick to cover some of the big celebration hits.
Yeah, I'll be able to catch
while I'm out. But yeah, I do. I don't know.
Okay.
I really think that they have a lot of pent up information, if you will. Yeah. Like we're talking mega blue balls, black and blue balls that they've just been sitting on because. Why are you going to fucking promote stuff when, especially if it's a movie, when you're uncertain what the movie theater landscape is like, what ticket sales could be like? I mean, they like the pomp and circumstance of a celebration. That's where you get a lot of the big reveals. That's where they announced the title of the last two Skywalker movies. I mean, they sat on those until Celebration. Both The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker were not titled until Celebration. But it feels like, because I think that stage show was 2019 where, Kathleen was introducing all this shit. Like this is this and this and this and this and this. And this. And it was, I mean, outside of Book of Boba Fett, we haven't heard much on any of them. I mean, yeah, Ahsoka, it sounds like they're probably ramping up here in another month or so. The Acolyte's probably ramping up in another couple months.
Yeah, I mean, like the one that has been just continues to be a mystery for everybody is fucking Andor. That show's supposed to come out this year, and we haven't heard anything. Shot all over the goddamn earth in public places, and still nothing. Like it's it. You had a few set pics released last summer, and that's it. Nothing. I mean, you really don't even. I don't even think there is a logo. I forget there is a logo, but yeah, there is the logo. There's the Andor splash screen logo, but that's it. And it's like all crumbly and looks like Jeddah and shit like that. But I mean, we have. I mean, what do we have to get updates on? We have to get updates on Lando. We have to get updates on Rangers if that's still happening.
Rangers.
We have droid tales. I mean,
the Grammar Rodeo Mystery Project, which I guess had another update today.
That is.
Apparently,
the Taika, the Taika movie,
like Rogue Squadron,
like so many things.
Is Ryan Johnson even alive anymore, or did Disney kill them themselves? And he's just a fucking clone that makes Knives Out movies.
That he just makes Knives Out stuff. Like, what's happening there? I mean, there's a lot of open questions, and I think that over time, over this amount of time, they've come up with something.
I think you're going to get updates on it 2 movies. I'm not even going to say at least. I don't want to qualify it. I'm going to say 2 movies, 4 shows, 2 video games. Those will be the tentpole deals at Celebration this year. I think you're going to see Jedi Fallen Order 2 for the first time. I would hope to see Ubisoft's, like just even if it's a cinematic trailer, see what they're up to. Rogue Squadron, I believe, will probably get an update. I would love for Taika's to get an update. And then I could see Lando, especially with Glover blossoming again, like you said. Acolyte, Ahsoka, Mando Season 3. Because Mando, this is another thing I didn't cover. I mean, everyone's like, oh, Mando Season 3 wrapped. It's like, all right. I guess
that doesn't mean anything.
The people that listen or maybe occasionally go to our website, is that the type of stuff you want us to cover? Because a production wrapping does nothing for me outside of confirming that it's most definitely going to come out in 2022. The fact that they've wrapped this early, they can get it ready for a December release, just like they did for Book of Boba Fett. So outside of that, a season wrapping does nothing. I guess Misty Rosas confirmed she's in The Mandalorian Season 3, so we could potentially speculate which shorter character she's playing this time. She was Kuiil in Season 1 and Frog Lady in Season 2.
Okay.
But even there, I was like, I don't see a story or a talking point to this, because as much as we love her and what she did for the characters, still just, background fodder. It's probably another monster or costume character that she's playing, and I don't get to play it, so I kind of hate her. I'm fucking short too. Let's go. Sign me up for some short roles. You got any short robots you need or monsters? Jawa. I think I could do a Jawa perfectly.
Yeah, if you got, squat down a little bit, you could pull off a Jawa.
Grow some hair on my knuckles. Yeah.
Yeah. Easy.
I'm not I don't want this to sound, kind of ignorant or rude, but I'm not really feeling that I'm going to miss out on Celebration, even though I think there's going to be a lot of announcements. It just getting Anaheim always, to me, even 3 years ago when it was announced, I was like, I don't know about that. Getting Anaheim from the Midwest it just doesn't sound like fun. Yeah, no direct airport. You either got to go to Diego or Lax and then go on the fucking Road Warrior trip with 50 lane highways and hours of traffic. I was just like, fuck this.
I have too many new money obligations.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's essentially turning into what's that? Chip and Diana. I mean, where are the peoples that decorate houses and flip them or something? Flip this house.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's still wild. I mean, to literally build a new house and maybe a year later be able to flip it for, I don't want to put it out there, but a lot.
Significant. Yeah, significant.
Like, I would take it. I mean, it's almost enough. I'd be like, fuck, if you guys live right, you might as well just retire now. Drop a few clients and just live off that thing instead, live in a fucking shed somewhere. All right.
I mean, that's the Austin housing market for you.
Hey, dude,
however long it lasts.
I'll tell you what, we're doing decent on time. Do you want to do a round of the Mando game or just move on to the fan segment?
We can do it. Let's hit a 5 questioner.
Yeah, why not? Because we're caught up. We're at the fan segment. We got time, so
yeah. So
my capacity is not at 100%, both mentally and physically. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out there now.
That's why we'll make it. That's why we're only doing a 5er, because Matt should have a short show so he can, rest and recover.
Dude, if we don't have a short show, it'll be my fault. I know. It's okay. It'll be my fault. I get it.
Oh, man. Yeah, so, okay. I got the 5 cards here. The 5 cards. We're only doing the 2-point questions. Again, for those of you who are new to this segment, new to the show perhaps, this is a new segment we have on the show. I was gifted these Mandalorian trivia cards from my girlfriend's mother. They're available on Amazon if you want to get those to play the game at home for yourself. They're called Star Wars The Mandalorian Trivia Quiz Cards. On each card, there are 2 questions, 1-point questions and 2-point questions. I will ask Matt 2-point questions, and I will not give him the multiple choice answers unless he requests it.
Right, that's my lifeline.
Yes, that is his lifeline. So if he gets the question right, 2 points. Gets the question wrong, 0 points.
That's right. I'm getting that. Now I'm starting to fucking sweat. I shouldn't have worn this hoodie.
Yeah. If he needs me to give him the multiple choices, I lose
a point. Yes, good.
He loses a
That's
point.
Right. All right, Regis, let's go.
First question.
Question number 1.
Who wants to be a millionaire? What large weapon do Gideon's stormtroopers assemble?
The E-Web cannon.
Correct.
Boom!
E-Web, heavy repeating blaster.
Speaking of E-Webs, old Bat's shop is selling one right now. I think they're having a giveaway on a 112 scale and 118 scale E-Web.
2797 Studios.
All right, let's go. What do we got?
Question 2. What notable remnant was left behind when the Razor Crest exploded? So, like, this would be like what piece
of the ship itself, because there were technically 2 things left behind. So I'm going to go with the shifter knob as the actual answer, but so was the spear.
The shifter knob is correct.
Yeah!
2 for 2.
Hitting the crab.
4 points. He's feeling it. Who on speeder bikes chases down Kuil fleeing the child?
Scout.
Now this is, okay, go ahead.
Do I have to like say the name who played them?
No.
Oh, it's Scout Troopers.
Correct.
Played by Jason Sudeikis, and I forget the other one. See, I can even take it another
bonus
level.
Point.
Yeah!
7 out of a potential 6 points for Matt.
Come on, baby, let's go.
Question number 4. What is in the middle of the Seeing Stone?
In the middle of a Seeing
This is a
Stone.
hard one, actually.
I
can give you the choices.
In the middle of the Seeing Stone. Yeah, because I feel like it could be 2 answers. One is cheeky if they're going this way.
This is a legitimately difficult one. So I will give you the responses. So you lose your bonus point.
Hold on. I'm not quite there yet. The middle of a Seeing Stone. On the stone itself, or just in the vicinity of the middle of the stone?
I believe it's the stone itself. I mean, the question only says what is in the middle of the Seeing Stone.
Fuck. All right. Is it a trick question or not? Because I'm not giving my answer yet. I'm just working through it right now. Okay, so
okay, this is just
if they're getting cheeky, Grogu was on the middle of the fucking Seeing Stone. All right.
Okay.
There was also a blue butterfly that kind of floated around the middle of the Seeing Stone, and there was some sort of, I would have to imagine, Jedi text inscripted around the Seeing Stone. All right, I don't want to be wrong, so give me a multiple. Give me the fucking choices. What a loser.
It's better that you did, because all of those things you said are not.
All right, I'll take the 1 point loss. What do we got?
Yeah. Okay, so the choices are A, a totem, B, a hemisphere, and C, a pyramid.
Oh, fuck, it's a hemisphere. All right, now I get what... That's a bullshit question, because the hemisphere's the fucking Seeing Stone. He was in like some sort of church. So they're saying the whole structure was the Seeing Stone, and then the middle is a hemisphere.
Exactly.
Fuck you, game makers. All right. I'm okay.
Correct.
I'm okay taking the hit on that one, at least to get a point. I don't like getting 0, so I'll take it. Plus, I had the bonus point, so it evens out, right?
There we go. Exactly. 8 out of 8 potential points Matt has. Last question.
Hemisphere. What the fuck?
This is a weird ass question.
All right.
I mean, you'll probably get it.
Hit me with it.
What color are the child's nails?
They're like it's like a creamy yellowish.
Correct.
All right.
Yellow is the answer.
Yeah.
Look,
get
10
some.
out of 10.
I'm the smartest motherfucker in the world. Yeah. Star Wars time.
Matt has proven his expertise in Mandalorian.
I'll take that. That was a better showing than last week. I still think the Seeing...
Got one wrong last
the Seeing Stone question is bullshit, but oh well. Thank you for the lifeline, Regis. That definitely helped me out. All right, that's always fun. I like that.
That is a fun one. So, but yes, like Matt has said, not a lot of topics this week. So now we're on to the the fan segment already.
Hey, real quick, Scion showed up, one of our long timers. Did you pick up Lego
indeed.
Star Wars Skywalker Saga, or is that not on Nick's radar at the moment?
I have not picked it up yet because I started playing. One thing that I actually should have mentioned out there was in the beginning was I started playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Okay,
and
that's Borderlands, fun. Right? That's tied to Borderlands.
It is. It is tied to the Borderlands franchise. It's super fun. It's kind of this interesting mix of first-person shooter, RPG, lots of like Dungeons and Dragons elements thrown into it, and a little bit of like a board game section as well.
Got you.
So that's been really fun. I'm still puttering my way through Elden Ring.
Look at you. You jumped on the bandwagon, huh?
I did, and it's my first Soulsborne game that I've played.
How you
I'm glad that I picked. I'm glad that I picked this one because this one allows you to basically run a mage class right from the beginning, and it doesn't it doesn't fuck you from the start. So I started playing a mage, and I've actually been enjoying it. The game itself is relatively open world, and that's what a lot of people that are Soulsborne fanatics don't like, is that it essentially allows you to farm up, your
pussy ass cheaters. You're not going in hardcore.
So like for me, it's just fun kind of exploring the world. And then, I will say that the boss battles that I've played so far have been difficult, and there is still...
Have you wanted to even punch out your own testicles yet? Like, have you gotten to that point?
Not yet. Not yet. So I've beaten 3 bosses in the game so far, I think. And I haven't gotten to the point of frustration where I'm like, I want to fucking throw something through a wall yet.
That's why I just stay away from those games. I know myself too well. It ain't worth it. It's just, I'm getting too old, and I am like in stroke territory, so it's just not going to happen.
I mean, like, if you can go in with the mindset of like, hey, the mechanic of the game is you die. Like it's not like other games where it's like, okay, well, you shouldn't die. Like if you play it right, you shouldn't die. Like in this game, like you're gonna die. It just fucking happens.
Yeah, the AI is gonna fuck you, and that's what I can't stand it when the AI fucks me just to fuck.
And
me.
like one of the things that like really I had to get used to and like really annoyed me one of the first or second boss fights I played was like in a lot of games, like it's pretty easy to dodge big boss maneuvers because like, for example, like if they jump towards you, they're like, okay, like what their trajectory is and where they're going to land so you can move. But bosses in this game, like they'll start their jump, but then like when you start to move, they will track you in the air. As right there,
I'd be sticking my thumb right into my eye socket.
So it's like, it's not only do you have to move from the expected trajectory, you basically have to just like wait and wait and wait. And right when they're coming at you is when you dodge.
Yeah, no.
So like
my glory days are over. Like I get it. Like, listen, I'm not going to be one of these people like, oh, you guys are goofy that like to play. Hey, listen, I'm sure Nick, when he beat those 3 bosses after getting his dick kicked in, was like, I felt like I actually did something today, even though it was beating a video game boss. So I get the allure of those types of games. It just, I've moved on from that. I don't need to be able to boast like, hey, I've got this achievement on this fucking game, playing it hard and wanting to ram my head through a wall. Like, who cares?
And like for the only thing that really pulled me towards this one was like one of my friends is a big Soulsborne guy, and like he was, like I told him, like, oh, I got it, and he was like, oh, did you try like we've been talking about a little bit since I started playing.
Is he a sun bro? Isn't that something from Demon Souls Sun Bros?
I don't know if he ever got that hardcore into it, but he's been like giving me pointers and tips. And he actually told me, it's like, if there was one of these games for you to like play for the first time, it's probably Elden Ring, because there is so much more to do than just like walk down the one path that the game has and just beat your head against shit
fucked up and have to restart over and over. I get you.
Yeah. So that was cool. I like that the George R.R. Martin angle, even though I will say that like you really have to reach to actually understand the story in it. Like there's no narrative threads that are actually given to you. Like the game itself is not one that has like, like after you beat a boss, like here's a big piece of exposition that we're now going to give you that explains more of what's happening. Next. Yeah, just like continue, like you'll get little pieces of lore tossed at you from different angles, but it's not a game that's actually telling you a story. It's a game where you have to discern the story whatever way you can.
All right. So I think the answer is no. Nick is not looking for Lego Star Wars anytime soon. Scion, I am definitely going to grab it. But I play games like an asshole these days. I mean, I'm literally still playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which has almost been a year out. I think it came out like last April or May. And that's the game I go play when I spend whatever 2 or 3 hours a week on a console. I mean, I'm on this stupid fucking thing a lot, doing the old Swago still. But in terms of real games, I just can't get myself out of the Legendary Edition. But I think Lego Skywalker Saga is going to be the ticket here.
Yeah. Speaking of, one other quick PSA since we're talking about games. For those of you who follow, you probably know that PlayStation Sony has announced their competitor to Game Pass.
Did you work the system, Nick?
That's exactly
what I was
going to say.
Were you stacking yesterday? How many years out did you stack?
I only did one. I only did 1 year.
Yeah, Kung Fu did like 4 or 5 years.
Five figures. Not surprised by that, but yes, that was what I was going to say. For those of you who want to get in on the PlayStation Premium tier, which will be $120 a year once it rolls out in June, there is a workaround to that where if you subscribe for PlayStation now for $60 a year, that will transition to the PlayStation Premium in June. And you'll have the $120 tier.
And apparently you can just keep, once you check out, you can go right back in and recheck out and just stack years of the Now subscription, which are going to turn in. Because, if you're not in the know, Sony finally was like, you know what? They're really kind of getting some traction with this Game Pass thing. They're getting day one releases. They're even getting third-party day one releases. We need something to compete with Microsoft's Games Pass. And that's what this is. And I would say it's not as good as Game Pass because you're not going to get first-party titles day one, which is an odd choice on Sony's behalf. But, oh well, there you go. They finally jumped on the bandwagon. So
yeah, I think the first-party thing for them is like, I mean, no matter which way you cut it, like Sony doesn't make as much money as Microsoft. So like Microsoft can eat that. Oh, dude,
Microsoft just eats millions and millions and millions of dollars a year on its gaming division. I mean, that's all it does.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it can't do that, it then just tries to buy publishers.
So like that's why is like Sony can't eat that. Yeah. Like Sony has, in the cost of game making now is probably as high as it's ever been.
Like a time, what'd they say? Is it kind of like what Warner Brothers is doing with movies now, where it's a guaranteed 45-day theatrical run, then it will hit the platform, or no? Yeah. Okay.
It's a time, I don't remember what the time period was between day one and when it would hit their subscription tier, but there is like not a stagnant. There is a consistent time for like. This is when day one.
I thought so. Oh well. Hey, there you go. See, that's what happens in business. Once one company figures out something neat, eventually the industry will come around to it. So if you weren't aware of that, even if you just pay for PlayStation Plus, your shit's changing soon. It's rolling into
So if you just have PlayStation Plus now, like what I mean, honestly, I was actually thinking about this. Like, it's not actually cheaper to do to get the PlayStation Now thing now, because it's $60 a year for now, and then it's $60 a year for just base PlayStation Plus.
Right.
So it's $120 no matter how you shake it. So it's just like now.
That's a good point. Yeah, because if you're not familiar, again, I don't know. I'm assuming because Sony seems to be the dominant console, even though you still can't fucking buy it, but.
You can't buy it. Yeah.
Now it's just their streaming system where you could stream old catalog games. Where PlayStation Plus, you need it if you just want to fucking get downloads and cloud saves and play online.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's like the equivalent on Xbox of like Xbox Live is like what you need to actually play online, and then Game Pass is the
extra stuff,
expanded service.
Yep. So. All right, dude. Well, there you go. We're trying to learn you all something. Who knows if they fix the exploit. But I know at least as of yesterday, Kung Fu the intern was in there stacking that shit up. So
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I was like, man, I can't believe they haven't patched that. And he's like, honestly, they're probably not looking at it as a bad thing that people are essentially paying for 4 or 5 years to stay connected to their service. So
yeah. And also, like I said too, like it's the same price. Like once you add in the Now price, and because like if you just have PlayStation Now, you don't have PlayStation Plus, you don't get the thing. You have to have both.
yeah.
So it's not like
Right.
you just pay $60 for Now and then you're good. You have to have both of them. So it's the same price.
All right. Well, I'm still glad I have both the consoles, even though at least one. I can't even remember last time my PS5 was turned on. And listen, I'm not a console war bro. I like all gaming, and if I can afford it and get them, I want them all because that's the best of every world. But you know, the youngins out there, and I'm sure there's still people in my generation and yours that get mixed up in the old console war stuff of yesteryear. But I mean, I gave that shit up during the old SNES and Genesis commercial days. It's like, who fucking cares? I mean, if you can get it. They're all great. They all have something to offer. There's no doubt about it. All right, man, let's transition into the fan segment. If you're new here, we do the fan segment every week. Probably one of the only Star Wars podcasts out there to have a dedicated segment for its fans. And it clearly hasn't helped us grow a bigger audience, but we like doing it because, you know, those that do tune in and have remained loyal, they're good Star Wars fans to mingle with. So, as I said, there are 2 avenues to get mixed up in the fan segment. The first is the question of the week, which gets posted to our Instagram every Tuesday in the morning. Sorry, Sion, one of these days I'll get it out there Monday night. Look at Nick these days. He's busting out the top 5. As soon as he rolls out of bed on a Monday at 3 o'clock, he's like, look at this shit.
I got to remember. I got to keep my days straight in my head.
Yeah, I did send a kind of a flare out to Nick yesterday. I was like, hey, buddy, today is Monday, just in case you forget. And he's like, I think my clock's back in order. So he's back on planet Earth this week. But again, back to the fan segment. So question of the week, you'll get a prompt on Tuesday mornings on Instagram at Star Wars Time Show. You can either reply via the stories or the post itself. We'll choose 5 or who knows. Sometimes I can't count and overstack it. And then we'll read them 14, and potentially discuss them during the fan segment. And then the second avenue to getting yourself on the Star Wars Time Show is, of course, the Top 5 Star Wars Artists of the Week feature, which again is accessed through our Instagram account at Star Wars Time Show. If you create Star Wars stuff and you want to share it with us, tag the account and use hashtag Star Wars Time Show. We'll feature them throughout the week. And then on Monday, Nick will sit here and pick his 5 favorite for us to discuss on the show. All right. So question of the week, and it was a shitty one because, like I said, my capacity is not at 100% today. Brain wasn't really thinking. I would have rather been laying in my bed, but I got one out, and it's terrible. But I guess it's somewhat topical.
Hey, we still got some people.
It's somewhat topical.
We still got some people.
I try to keep them at least related to what we're talking about on the show or like Star Wars current events. So here we go. Will you be picking up Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga this week, and why? All right, so let's see what the fans had to say here. Nick, let me scroll over to the responses, and it looks like our buddy Lima, who got real quick, a bunch of toy photographers just got hooked up by Ming-Na Wen on her personal socials. She shared,
wow,
it was awesome, dude. She like sat down, I don't know if she did a video, but kind of was talking about her doll and then featured multiple toy photographers of that took shots of Fennec, her alter ego, and Lima 4 Photos was one of them. So, and he is now getting his time in the spotlight with the question of the week. So go ahead, Nick.
Beautiful. Lima 4 Photos, like Matt was saying, says probably not. I hardly have time for my toy photography with the baby and all, but hey, if it's good and the kid ends up loving Star Wars, it's gonna be a great thing to bond over. I can get it then. So really, it comes down to Lima's baby. If we can all get Lima's baby into Star Wars before the game comes out, then he will pick it up.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, is this going to be so Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga? Is this going to be a daddy-daughter type?
I'm going to try. I've been trying to get her to at least fire up the old ones, like the Xbox 360 Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. I have been met with resistance, but I'm hoping this one that's a little flashier and new, I might be able to convince her. But I'm not going to sit around and wait for her. So If she wants to join in on the weekends when I usually game, fine. Otherwise, Daddy's fucking playing through the movies. You know,
get in the Falcon from the beginning, Charlie, or you don't have a show.
That's right.
That's how.
Better claim your seat.
Strap in. Sir Dork 730, friend of the show, says, haven't been super into Lego games since the first one on PS2, but this one looks so fun. Definitely going to get it. So that's a yes from the Dork Man.
Okay.
Next up, Tones 1138. Look at
this guy. He's an influencer getting it early.
He's getting it all. He's already got it. And absolutely
Tones.
Love it.
He was on TikTok doing a dance or something, and they slid him a copy.
Yeah, I know. Went all in and purchased the deluxe version as there's no more Star Wars games on the horizon to be released. True. Probably the best Lego game I've played.
There's high praise there, and he's not off. I mean, I even saw on Metacritic, which is very critical because I mean it's an aggregator, so you get assholes in there and then people that rate too high. But I believe it was hovering around like an 85 or 86, which is pretty legit on Metacritic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna get it, but it's like after seeing Uncharted as well, I didn't finish Uncharted 4, so now I want to go back and play Uncharted 4. So like I just have
and they're like kind of like a slight expansion too from the girls' point of view, or is that Last of Us?
the Lost Legacy.
Okay, so
Lost Legacy.
There too.
There's that game as well from Chloe and Nadine.
All right. Go Tones.
Burkhead Toys. Yeah. Good. Congrats for Tones getting it early and already having a review ready. Burkhead Toy says, yep, I've got all the rest and it's been just a silly, fun game. I mean, that's what it is, right? Silly fun.
I love Lego Star Wars. I love building them. I love playing them, and I love watching them. I think some of the Lego Star Wars animated content is some of the best Star Wars content out there. You know, fight me. I'll put up that coffee table challenge. It's the
irreverent side of it that
we
always
like the droid tales and like all the shit that the droids go through, kind of retelling events of the trilogies. It's just fun.
It is. They're super fun. I played the previous ones, and I've always
my favorite though is the way, and this is in all Star Wars mediums, but the way Palpatine treats Vader in the Lego games and shows is just fantastic.
Yeah,
like Vader is like the chief buffoon in all Lego Star Wars.
He's literally like Palpatine's punching.
Yeah, like there's one episode like he gets Palpatine like a Palpatine mug for Christmas, and Palpatine shakes him down and dresses him down. It's great. All right, next.
All right, last one for the question of the week. This is from Mr. Dejarin.
A great Lego toy photographer, by the way.
There we go. He says, I bought the deluxe version today. ... for my kids.
Yeah, with the little really ookie eyes too. So yeah, that's good excuse.
Is it really for your kids? See, I can't use that. I can't use that excuse. I gotta
see. I don't think they made a Lego game for TLJ and Tross, but they did for TFA. They added enough stuff in that it does not feel like a pure kid game anymore. Like they had like forced FPS or third person shooting moments. A little more puzzle centric, but I remember the original ones. I mean, you essentially could close your eyes and just keep walking and fall off cliffs and this, that, and the other thing. Didn't fucking matter. You'd lose some studs that you'd have to pick up if you're going for full completion per level. But they usually do make these fairly skill proof, meaning you don't need much.
Yeah. I mean, it's made for like. Little kids to be able to play it and stuff like that. It's not a punishing adventure.
Yeah, big kids. Okay. So question of the week. All right. And now,
thank you.
It's time for the top 5 Star Wars artists of the week. And the week is 328 to 44. So Nick took it right up to the wire. And you actually slid in 2 Monday features that I put out, I believe. I
did. I got 2 Monday features in there because they were just too good to pass up. And I believe that one of the Monday features is the number 1 one. This is from @Terradium.
That's right.
On the Instagram.
That's funny.
I mean, honestly, there's so many things to like about this. And so what we're seeing here is Mr. Boba Fett. This is OT Boba Fett. Surfing the waves on Han and Carbonite. So he's in a barrel. You can see the barrel coming over him. Got the sun in the background, awesome water, and he's just on Han and Carbonite surfing his way through this barrel. And I mean, I thought it was fucking cool as hell because the bright colors, just the thought behind the image was fantastic.
You know, I say this all the time, but it checks all the boxes. It's got that kind of goofy, far out idea. It's got good posing, like getting Boba to stand on Han and Carbonite couldn't have been an easy task. And then it's executed well. I mean, you got that his Carbonite surfboard in there. He's definitely right in the curl of the wave. It looks like he's got good posture, good balance, and he's gonna ride that motherfucker in. I don't know if he's in a competition with what's his name, Slater, but
Kelly.
Yeah,
Slater.
Boba looks quite natural surfing. So I always love the humor shots or kind of the oddball Star Wars shots, and I believe you picked at least 3 of them this week. So it's gonna be a fun time checking some of these out. But yeah, at Terradium, Terradium, definitely has that quirky side to the toy photography and what scenes they're going to shoot.
Oh yeah, he's got some fun ones up on his page, so make sure to go give them a follow. Next up, top 5 is friend of the show at Rippick _ tan. And this is just an excellent scene, chase scene that we see with the Falcon running away from 2 ties into a cavernous section. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a semi recreation of when they were running through the asteroid field in ESB, or if this is something from maybe TFA when they were going through the dunes of Jakku. But what we see, we see the Falcon in the foreground of the shot. We see some craggy surfaces. And then in the background, we see one tie who has just full on hit one of clipped the rock crossbeam, and then one of the other ties is coming in over and firing at the Falcon from an upward angle. I mean, overall, it's just very well executed. I love the atmosphere he added in there. I like the setup, whatever dio he used.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is all awesome. Practical, by the way. He built this fucking massive. Like it's almost like a what the fuck, a valley, a chasm. I don't know what the fuck is it called when you have like 2 plateaus and then a channel going through it.
A gorge. I don't know.
Something like that. I don't. Like I said, I'm fucking stupid today, but.
Oh yeah, the BTS is very impressive. Like Matt is saying, he kind of shows you the full diorama that's built out and how he achieved. Yeah,
you can see a bigger version. If you're on the live stream, you can see it now. But his shot with Hera and Chopper is kind of going through this canyon, or the fuck we want to call it. Wild. Yeah, I mean, as Sir Dork is saying in here, like one of the true legends of toy photography, at Rippick Tan is definitely reaching, if not going into the next phase of toy photography. And by that, I mean building their own dios, coming up with crazy sets and setups, and then just executing the picture. I mean, Nick, even those stars back there, that's practical too. That's like a fucking blackboard with a bunch of holes jabbed through it. So Rippick Tan has definitely been learning from those who came before him and is taking great advantage of that. And definitely one of the bigger supporters of the show. So we speak your name at Rippick, as Nick says, _ tan. Good stuff. Next up in the top 5 is at YC Solo. Could be the shot of the year to me, honestly. This is some next level, just incredible Lego toy photography that we're seeing here. And we're seeing a scene recreation from ESB, the attack on the Hoth base. And what we can see here in the foreground is an AT-AT walking up as they do. And then it's the scene where Luke is on the ground. He's already gotten out of his snow speeder after the crash and is about to do his little grapple, cut, and grenade trick. But we see the AT-AT, we see Luke on the ground, saber ignited. We see an AT-ST off in the background and 2 snow speeders flanking. Yeah. What really sells this shot is the atmosphere, the smoke that
that YC Solo
that
pumped
and just
in
the scale of it. I mean, look at that fucking AT-AT. I mean, I believe that's the UCS version, like the $600 or $700 version. So it is just beastly. But I love his YC Solo's choice to put a minifig down there to really accent how big that toy is. But it's almost like, I don't know what type of lens we're going here, but it's a very pulled out perspective as well to also kind of showcase the size and scale of the shot. It's like I said, this is one of my personal favorites of 2022 so far, if not since we've started doing this. I mean, I would take a poster of this bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's truly an incredible shot. I mean, like from everything that you mentioned, like selling the scale with the minifig, the atmosphere, the post effects on the lightsaber and everything else. I mean, this is just some next
all practical
level.
Too. I mean, yeah, and not the lightsaber and the AT-AT's visor, but everything else is practical. I mean, you can even see it looks like they were using either white sheets or cloth in the back to create snow mounds and I mean, just brilliant.
Fantastic stuff.
I'm happy to see this because I love Lego photography, especially Star Wars Lego photography, and I share it every week. It's one of my favorites, but the algorithm does not like Lego shots that we feature, but this one broke through, which goes to show you just how boss it is. I mean, this one, I think even on ours was 831, and most Lego shots sometimes don't even cross 100 when we feature. So that just goes to show you that this one busted through that janky algorithm. That's how excellent it is.
Yeah. Too good to deny at YC_Solo on Instagram.
Yeah.
Next up in the top 5, it's another cheeky one.
This guy's always
out with 2 cheeky ones.
Snicket.
Yes, Snikt, SNIKTTT on Instagram, and what we see is a really cool shot that Matt and I have always said that we were fans of when you mix Star Wars with real life, and what we see here is Neo Boba Fett busting out of his packaging with shards of plastic flying everywhere and shooting his grappling hook right through Snick's nose. You can see the grappling hook piercing his nose. Blood is everywhere. The expression on Snick's face is honestly, Nick, pure agony.
Snicket's face in all these shots is what sells it. I mean, the dude sells the scene like a pro.
He does. He does. And that's what
his face is like, oh, fuck. He's like, what the hell's happening here? God damn it. He must have gotten the Indian's cupboard or something because it's alive.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. The Indian in the cupboard. What a throwback movie that Matt just brought up. But I mean, it's just fantastic seeing this little figure come to life and shatter his packaging only to then physically assault his owner.
This must have been Benevolent Fett after the end of his series when he decided he didn't want to be benevolent anymore because he's like, fuck you, you're not locking me up in this packaging. I am going to grapple hook myself out into your face.
Exactly. It's just
it's great. I would love to see how he sets these up because I'm assuming the plastic shards you can tell that's post-processing, the blood's post.
Yeah.
But like how he just stages the figure that way with the box and then himself, how many shots are being layered here to create this? It's just cool. I mean, this guy always gets me laughing with his work here.
Oh yeah, Snick has become a favorite around here just because of his creativity.
You just look at it and you can't help but laugh. You really can't.
Yeah, it's great stuff. At SNIKTTT on Instagram. Super fun stuff on that account. Make sure to follow. And then for the final top 5 of
Ramplu.
Ramplu.
At one point, remember I coined the term Rampo for when we were speculating if C-3PO would go ham and Tross because he was carrying around, Chewie's bowcaster. But here, at Kill Cutter Photo has brought Ramplu to life. Go ahead, Nick.
AKA Paplu in his, it's a fantastic show. It's just hard. Kill Cutter Photo has been, is this Kill Cutter the same Kill Cutter? Yes.
Yeah. Something got fucked up on Kill Cutter, so he had to, like Prince, he had to rebrand as Kill Cutter Photo.
Yeah. Kill Cutter Photo, and he's already surpassed the following that he had on his old account. He's been on a tear recently, and it's because of shots like this. So what we're seeing here is Paplu, the little Ewok that you'll remember from Return of the Jedi. He is whipping the Rambo red head tie. He's got 2 shotguns in his hand, hiding behind a tree, getting ready to blast 2 of these scout troopers on speeders as they pass him by, and he's clearly in the forest of Endor. I mean, the shot, he's got blood coming from his mouth, like he just killed somebody.
Dude, and that Ewok's face is just fantastic in the shot. I don't know if
it's so good.
If he digitally, I'd have to go get mine and look at it, but it's I mean, we call murder bears for a reason, and this exemplifies that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And don't take this the wrong way, Kill Cutter, but I would say this is one of his most simple setups, and I know it probably still took a lot of work and a lot of layers. But it's just that fucking grin on his face. Like, I mean, he is a demon. He's like, bring it on, boys. Ramplu's ready to eat. You know, he's ready to fucking start chowing down again.
Oh, man. Bloodthirsty, guns at the ready. And you know that these 2 scout troopers that are speeding up behind him are about to be next on his menu. I mean, it's just fucking
This
cool.
is the move I see him doing, Nick. So like you said, he's got 2 big ass fucking guns, one in each hand. Like, it's just showing that Ewoks have ridiculous strength. There's one way I want to classify it, but you're not allowed to say it anymore, so I won't. But he has that type of strength. I think some of you may know what I'm talking about. Think about Corky from that TV show. But I see him, Nick, going like this. So if you're on the live stream, again, he's got his back to a tree. You've got 2 scout troopers coming up on each side. I see him going like this. Lean out once, bah, 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 and then lean out to the other side, bah, 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 and just takes them both out in 1-2 punch with his gats.
Oh, yeah.
Paplu, this is the motherfucker that does steal the speeder bike in the movie, right? And he's like flying around and his ass is hanging out because he's going so fast. Like, I believe it is. And that just makes sense. Like, that Ewok, I mean, Paplu, he was a crazy motherfucker. Like, he was all for it. He's ready to take the risk and take one for the team and win the war for the rebellion. So I completely see the Ramplu persona hidden within his soul.
100%. And there we are at Kill Cutter Photo.
It's like, I love the murder, like smiling, like I love murder.
Oh man, it's so good. At Kill Cutter Photo, closing out the top 5 with the absolutely incredible Ramplu take here. And that's it. That's the end of the top 5. That's the end of our show for this week. That's right, buddy.
Thank you, because I'm feeling it. I am. Yeah. Body's starting to shut down. You know how like the system kind of gets worse the later in the day? I'm starting to feel that now. At least old people, you know what I'm talking about. But hey, it was a good show. We did our thing. We shared our opinions. We talked a lot of non-Star Wars. We talked a lot of Star Wars. We played a game. So if you missed it, you missed some parts, don't forget, tune in tomorrow when we release the full version of the podcast on podcast platforms, or just look for the recorded version of the live stream later today, right after the show, as soon as we hit the end button. But if you need to get on one of those podcast platforms, the best method to do so is to head on over to StarWarsTime.net. Scroll around a little bit. You never know. You might find 2 posts of the same story because the people that run the website don't communicate to each other. And one guy posts something and then the other guy posts something because he's too lazy to look. As Nick and I did last week with the Obi-Wan Kenobi delay news. And no, I wasn't going to delete mine. I wasn't going to delete Nick's. We decided to do the work, so both posts are staying on the site. But that's why you need to go check out, see what sort of hijinks are happening on StarWarsTime.net. But like I said, sub to one of the podcast platforms. We got a pretty easy link for you. Subscribe to podcasts. If you do prefer the YouTube deal or the live stream, we also have that link for you on StarWarsTime.net. Just scroll down a little bit. You'll see our happy-ass little animated faces there. Just click on that subscribe button, and it will automatically subscribe you. So you just need to click on announcements, the little bell, so you know when the Star Wars Time show is ready to deliver the Star Wars. All right, I'm not going to hem and haw this week and go on a big tangent. We love you. Keep promoting the show. Thanks to all of you that have stuck with this little thing for over 3 years at this point in time. We do appreciate you. And we'd love for more people to join up. So you know what to do, Johnny. You know what to do. There's always time for Star Wars time, my friends. And if you listen to the Star Wars Time show, the Force will be with you always.